welcome to the Webcast for Tuesday, November 11th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. We're seeing a big increase in high-level clouds coming in from the Pacific this morning, a strong indicator that a weather system is beginning to approach. We will be seeing more of those clouds through the day today, but there will still be a good deal of sunshine filtered through them, and dry conditions will continue today. Taking a look at our overnight humidity recoveries, you can see we're still working to scour out the dry air mass in Southern California. While lower elevations near the coast saw good recoveries overnight, many foothills and mountains only saw maximum humidity in the upper teens and 20s, so it's another very dry start in those areas. Central California was a little better overall, but still with some drier spots in the mid and upper elevations. Today is going to be another warm day, but with light onshore flow, weakening high pressure, and the increase in clouds, we will see the beginnings of a cooling trend with highs down about 3 to 6 degrees from yesterday. Minimum humidity will be mainly in the 12 to 25% range above and inland from the shallow marine layer influence, and favoring the low end of that range, especially in Southern California, where, as you saw, many areas are already in the upper teens and 20s to start the day. Winds will be light today with peak gusts mostly under 20 miles per hour. We remain on track for a major pattern change this week. The strong area of high pressure that has dominated our weather for several days is beginning to weaken today, and by tomorrow it will weaken further and shift off to the east. That will open the door for a Pacific trough to move through the region Thursday and Friday, bringing with it a substantial storm system and by far our coldest air mass of the season so far. In addition, in a fairly large change since yesterday, it now looks as though this storm system will morph into a cutoff low over Southern California this weekend, preventing high pressure from building in and instead keeping the unsettled weather going. So beyond the lingering warmth today, the big story this week will be the precipitation chances. We remain on track for a widespread rain event with areas of rain and embedded thunderstorms pushing from northwest to southeast through the region on Thursday and Friday. And with that cutoff low developing, it now looks as though widespread showers will continue through most, if not all, of the weekend, especially in Southern California. In terms of rain amounts, we're still expecting that most foothills and mountains will receive about 1 to 3 inches of rain. However, with the trends we've seen since yesterday, some higher totals up to 5 inches are likely in favored portions of Southern California. In addition, there is now a better chance for all other areas, including even the deserts and typical rain shadow locations, to see over an inch of rainfall by the end of this weekend. So while it's still not a huge storm in the grand scheme of things, it will be very meaningful for the fire environment due to the prolonged and widespread nature of rainfall. Snow levels will be a bit of a moving target with this storm. They'll likely start out around 6,000 to 7,000 feet, but higher in Southern California. They'll start to fall by Friday and into the weekend, and then it'll just be a matter of determining where there remains overlap between the lower snow levels and lingering precipitation. Overall, it still looks like a solid 1 to 3 feet or more of snow is likely across the High Sierra. For the Southern California mountains, some light accumulating snow is likely across the higher mountains, but snow totals will be much less than across the Sierra, with greater uncertainty in how much snow will fall. It is even possible, though, that some of the peaks of the high desert could see some light snow accumulations this weekend. Speaking of the colder air, we are in for a drastic change later this week from what in some cases was record warmth yesterday to what will be near record cold in just a matter of days. We'll see several more degrees of cooling tomorrow, then significant additional cooling Thursday and Friday, with Friday likely the coldest day overall. Valley highs by Friday will only be in the 50s to near 60. Ahead of and during the storm, we will see a period of gusty winds, south to west winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts to 50 miles per hour will surface across the mountain ridges and desert passes from Wednesday afternoon through Friday evening, and there will be some enhanced breeziness in all areas, especially during and ahead of the heaviest band of rainfall. There is a fair amount of uncertainty heading into next week, but continued below normal temperatures do appear likely, and there is some potential for additional precipitation as well. Overall, it definitely looks like we're turning the page from the summery pattern of the past few weeks right into a pattern more typical of the deep winter months. We'll continue to see drying trends on our dead fuel moistures today and into tomorrow, then not surprisingly a strong moistening trend by later in the week. And more importantly, this widespread rain event will help to accelerate seasonal green up and bring further increases in live fuel moistures. We've already gotten good green up in much of the region, but this event should help to really fill in the gaps. In terms of fire potential, some continued light initial attack activity is likely over Southern California the next couple of days due to the lingering warm and dry weather. However, fire spread potential will be limited due to the lack of wind. And then by later in the week, fire potential will drop to negligible levels, with significant fire potential set to become all but non-existent for a long time to come, as fire danger indices plummet and the region moves further into winter green up. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. We wish you a happy Veterans Day and extend our thanks to all who have served. The next webcast will be on Wednesday, November 12th.